appreciate everybody on the chat tonight for your comments.
Well, hello, you fine beekeepers. Welcome to the Bee Connection, and we're so glad you're here with us tonight. I will say that my wife got me a nice shirt to go with this. So what I'd like to do is maybe give a shirt away every Thursday. And if you're going to be for the guys that's going to be at the expo, we will be giving those shirts out at the expo. So we'll do that a little bit later on in the chat. But for all of you folks that likes to come in and be part of our group, we would like to give something back to you guys. So anyway, as probably everybody on here will say, it's probably hot out there. And it's been extremely hot here where we're at. Got a little bit of a cool down, and now it's boosted back up. So it's been really hot. So I did extract a little bit of honey for a friend. A little bit like Keith, I'm helping several people out right now. Helping build colonies, spin some honey out. And I haven't even gotten to my colonies yet. So hopefully this weekend I can do that. But I did get some honey that I'd like to talk about a little bit later on. I got some honey out for a friend, and it had a real citrus flavor, a flavor I haven't had before. But what was kind of crazy about it, it would actually cause my tongue to tingle. And like it was burning my tongue. And it's like, I've never had honey to do that. Now, am I allergic to honey? It's some other kind of honey. It's like maybe rhododendron. I don't know. But it was definitely set my tongue on fire at the end. And not like a pepper burn, more like a burn, a chemical burn. So that was kind of unusual. Good flavor to the honey, though. But we'll discuss that here in a little bit. And like I said, it's hot. We haven't done any honey, unlike some people down here. But just a little bit of honey. Just a little bit of honey. Yeah. So, but let's talk to Keith, see what's going on in his area.
Yeah, that's some interesting sounding honey. We need to talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's just hard work around here and hot. You know, it's like you said, it cooled down. Wasn't quite as muggy today. But I think by Saturday it's supposed to be back up in the 90s and then mid 90s, upper 90s next week. So it's fixing to get nasty around here. But yeah, I did my 5th OA treatment yesterday on my bees. So got them looking pretty good. I'm still working with my other, all the people I'm helping mentor, still working through getting their hives treated. I've definitely got all my supers off and got them stored now. Still doing lots of markets, trying to sell all this honey. So that's going well. But got into a hive yesterday. I noticed something had changed on it. I got a video coming out in the morning on that. They got a little upset at me. It's a pretty interesting little video. They weren't happy with me tearing their box apart for some reason. I don't understand. So, but that's coming out, I think, in the morning. But yeah, it's just hard work and sweat around here. Nothing, you can't do much of anything without sweating. I've got feed on 18 hives. I'm drawing out comb on 11 of those. 7, I'm just feeding them just to zing them up a little bit. Probably feeding about 0.8 to 1, something like that. Some really light syrup, just like a honeybee energy drink to get the ladies motivated. Don't really want them to store any, but they need to build up a little bit. So, but yeah, everything. I got no complaints right now. Everything's going on schedule. Just a lot of sweat. So that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Yeah, Keith, I sweated so much I lost my glasses. If you didn't notice, so
I know. I was.
Yeah. So now, if you don't know, my daughter, I think, set up kind of laid on my glasses. So if I wear anything, I'd wear my safety glasses. So I'm trying to stay away from that tonight. So,
Oops.
but anyway, yeah. So let's talk to some honey people. You know, Keith's been the honey guy for a long time. Now let's talk to some really honey people. I don't see Tom, so he must have just be passed out in the honey room. But let's talk about these folks here. What's going on, Melissa? Tom?
I guess I don't know. Tom's taking my picture. I don't know. What are you doing? He's pointing this way at me. Let's see. We started pulling supers on Friday, and so we pulled some soup. We pulled 2 yards Friday. We pulled 2 yards Friday.
Are you asking or telling?
I'm asking.
Oh, I thought you would know.
So we pulled 2 yards Friday, and then we didn't do anything on Saturday. We had the extractaganza for our club, which is just people bring their supers in, and we have extractors set up and help them extract. And then on Sunday, we pulled 4 yards and the hives at our house. And then on Monday, Tom and one of our boys went out and pulled our last yard. And then our other son and I stayed home and started sorting the frames because we separate our honey light and dark. And so we started doing that. And then that afternoon, we started extracting the lightest of light. We didn't really get any dark honey this year. We got water white honey, light honey, and amber honey. So we didn't really get any dark honey like we usually do. So we sorted all those frames and started extracting. We ended up pulling 173 supers is what we ended up pulling into the we do everything in our garage. So we started extracting Monday and Tuesday, and we just finished up today. And I think we're going to end up around 4,300 pounds of honey. So it's been a hot, sticky operation. In the garage, we have 2 dehumidifiers and 4 fans going, and the temperature in the garage was 104. And sweat's just like dripping on your face the whole time you're out there. It's so uncomfortable. But we got it done today, and tomorrow we get to clean all the sticky out. So
That's awesome.
So
what's the game plan for the honey? Is you going to sell it? We're making bourbon honey, cream honey. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Is that?
Yeah, a whole kit and caboodle. Sell it in buckets. If people want buckets, we'll sell it wholesale in buckets. Well, wholesale to us anyway. But the thing here in Missouri is it's been so insanely humid lately. Everything is testing high moisture content. Like we did the extractaganza on Saturday, and nobody had anything lower than 19% testing it. So the supers that we had in there, we had those dehumidifiers running, and when we tested before we started extracting, some of it was testing in the 17s because we'd had those dehumidifiers and fans going. But just from turning off the dehumidifiers when we're in there working, because it gets so insanely hot, and opening and closing the garage door when we needed to take things in and out, some of our honey went up to like 18%. So we've got to get that moisture content back down, because we like to keep it around the 17.6%. So we need to get that moisture content down a little bit for us. But yeah, it's just been sticky and hot and messy, and I'll be glad when we can hose the garage down tomorrow and get it all cleaned up. And then, but it doesn't stop, because on Saturday, Corey Stevens is coming in town and doing a grafting class. So we'll be at the grafting class helping out with that all day on Saturday. So fun times.
That's awesome.
So how do y'all move most of your honey? You mentioned selling buckets, which I like doing that too. You don't make quite as much money, but you don't have to mess with it.
Right.
You jar it, label it, and send it to farmers market.
Yep. So we sell mostly through the markets that we go to. Through the season, we do about at least 2 markets a month, if not 3. We do a lot of porch pickup, and then We don't sell a ton of buckets until like January when all the local beekeepers have run out of honey. And they're like, "Hey, do you guys have honey? You know, can I get a bucket?" So we sold quite a few buckets this spring. So
Okay.
and we started doing, because those buckets and lids aren't cheap either. So we have our price for our bucket of honey, and then we add $10 on top of that for a deposit. And if they want to bring us our bucket back, we'll give them their $10 back. So
There you go.
that seems to work out pretty well.
Do y'all sell any wholesale through stores or markets or anything other
So
than?
we have right now. There's two. One's like a gift shop type of store. So there's three actually. One's a little gift shop store. She sells small gifts. So she buys like our little jars of honey usually. There's a Route 66 museum here in town. They carry specific products. They don't have everything. And then there is like a feed store about 20 minutes from us that also carries just our regular jars of honey. And then there's another little store down in town that wants us to be their honey vendor. So, but we don't move a lot of honey through the little stores. It's we sell mostly at our markets that we go to.
Okay.
And we're kind of right on the edge of being rural. So like we can't put like, and I know JW lives in the middle of nowhere and seems to sell all kinds of honey at his little house stand that he has. But we're in a subdivision, in a small subdivision that's like on the edge of being rural. And I don't know, there's not really a good place in our front to put like an outside honey pickup or whatever. So that, and it wouldn't really go with our landscaping, because of somebody sitting off camera. But anyway, yeah, mostly we sell markets and things like that though.
Okay.
So DC's kind of got a question here. He'd already mentioned, should he put his honey in mason jars? And I put all my honey in mason jars. No problem about putting them in mason jars. It seems like you don't get more of the full price. I feel like people get a little bit more honey for the price that I'm selling it for. So that's just me. And he says, advise on any good places to sell smaller amounts of materials.
To get smaller amounts of material, like to get jars and stuff? Is that what he's asking?
I think so.
So if you want mason jars and things like that, the best place that I've found to buy mason jars is like Tractor Supply or the farm and home stores at the end of the canning season.
Yeah.
So that's like, I'll get flats and flats of mason, because we use mason jars, the pint size ones for my chunk comb honey, and then the quart size ones we sell. It's like 2 pounds, 8 ounces of honey in those. So we sell those for $25.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I get some of my glass from Miller Bee Supply, which isn't too far from here. I get a lot of the plastic bottles off of Amazon. Just quick and easy. They've got a good deal.
Miller has good price on, like, I get all of my Muth bottles from Miller at Nobby.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know what the shipping would be out to Washington from North Wilkesboro. That probably wouldn't be that. I'm looking at we've got an Amish community here in the southwest corner of the county, and they've got a big Amish store up there, and they've actually got a cannery up in that area, and they've got some really good prices on glass right now for pints and quarts, and you have to buy the lids separate, and you have to buy a whole case of lids, which is like 750 lids, which is a lot, but they don't really go bad, so you could use them for a couple of years.
No expiration date on those.
Yeah. So I'm looking at getting some glass from them, but yeah, I mean, DC, you just need to look around your area. I don't know if you got any bee supplies around that area, or any maybe look and see if you got any canneries around there that are canning jams and jellies and that sort of thing. Maybe they'll sell you some cases of jars.
I did have a friend of mine that was getting out of the canning business, doing a lot of canning. They decided they're not going to do no more. And they said, hey, I'll give you some of my jars for $25. I've got a lot of small pints and stuff. I said, okay, it sounds good. I went over there and he filled the whole back end of my truck full.
Wow.
I mean, it was tons of jars.
Yeah.
And I couldn't beat that for $25. I said, let me give you some more money. And he's like, no, that's good. So I did pay my wife's niece to rewash everything. And we got it. That's an excellent deal for mason jars. So
yeah, there's a lady here close to me that has that bought a whole pallet of quart jars. I'm not sure where she got them from, but on the bottom of the jar is embossed Midnight Moon. Now, I don't know if you know what that is, but that was when, do y'all know the name Junior Johnson, the big NASCAR moonshine racer guy?
Yeah.
When he started making legal moonshine, that was his brand. So I don't know if these jars were left over from that or what, but man, she's selling them for the quart. All she's got is quarts. But she's selling them for $5 a dozen. So that's pretty cheap glass. So I bought, I think I got 12 dozen from her. So yeah, you just have to look around, but it's amazing. There's little deals you find here and there.
Everywhere.
So,
yeah. But for the mason jar, for around here anyway, the cheapest I found mason jars is at the farm and home or the Tractor Supply store at the end of canning season.
Yeah.
So
the only trouble I have with some of the mason, what I call a mason jar, it's usually embossed. It's got letters and stuff and writing on it, and I need to stick a label on it, and so I need a slick. I think they just call them mayonnaise jars. You just need a slick jar.
So I put our sticker on the lid on the top on those ones.
Yeah, that'd work.
Yeah, and I only use those pint mason jars for our chunk comb honey. So sometimes I'll make like a tag label on those too instead, because it's a little bit of a nicer product. And then for the quart jars, the ones that I got at the tractors, I think they're Anchor jars is the name of the brand, and they are smooth, or there's at least one smooth side, and I stick our sticker on that.
Yep.
Now the actual ball brand mason jars, there are no smooth sides on those jars.
Yeah, they've got stuff on all sides.
Yeah. So you would
have to put it on the lid.
Do the lid or do a tag. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see Jason's comment there, Keith? Hey, if you want to come up here in the mountains, I'll pay you to do the honey. Let me tell you, that's a hot job.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trot from south of Raleigh up to Creston.
You could probably, because there's an older beekeeper here in the St. Louis area. Not that you're coming to St. Louis, but he's in his 80s and he always needs help during extraction season, pulling supers. So maybe there's like a local Facebook page that you could post to see if somebody would take you up on that, because there's always older beekeepers that may need that kind of help pulling supers or, extracting or whatnot.
Yeah. And some of the pay might just be their wisdom, working with them, them showing you what they've learned over the years. But yeah, I agree. You need to get your name out there and get that offer out there and see if anybody will take you up in your area. Well,
and definitely if you make a post about that, let them know that you keep your own bees. So you're not just some kid coming in there and has no idea anything about bees. You have a little bit of knowledge about what needs to happen.
So see Debbie on there. Debbie Weinstein she's the lady that had the lavender farm that I went to visit. It was really, really cool. And the bees was all over that lavender. I didn't know bees liked lavender that way. So I went to her place. That was pretty cool. And I did see Clay on here just a few minutes ago. And Clay, the people that got your nukes, they're very, very happy with them. They told me to tell you thank you tonight. The one that didn't have a queen, the guy said they had some of the biggest queen cells in them. And he was tickled to death. So he's waiting to let that queen hatch out and come back. So Clay, we appreciate that very, very, very much. Appreciate you, sir. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So Tom, are you you still stuck to the floor, to the couch, to everything else? Or?
We're stuck to everything.
I said something to Melissa earlier. She says to me, she said, you know what I'd like for dinner? And I'm like, well, sounds like we're going out somewhere is what it sounds like to me, because she's probably not going to get it out of me. And I'm like, what's that, babe? She goes, the little Chinese place out there. I'm like,
we don't eat Chinese very often.
No. And I'm like, yep, sounds good. So I'm sitting at the table. I was just kind of relaxing for not more than probably 10 minutes and just kind of zoning out for a minute, and just kind of regrouping a little bit, And I told her, I'm like, well, we better get going because I'm already locking up, You know what I mean? When you sit down and you've really hustled hard for multiple days in a row or whatever it is, right? And you sit down and then you get up and you're like, oh, you give it that, that's when you start to lock up a little bit. It's like, we better go before I settle into a spot and I'm not moving.
Yeah, that's that law of physics about an object in motion tends to stay in motion.
Yeah.
Object at rest stays at rest.
That's exactly right, Keith.
Yeah. I find myself doing that. Is I tell Michelle, it's like I'm gonna go ahead and do this because once I stop, it's over.
Yes, that Keith, you exactly what I'm saying. When I'll ask Melissa, I'm like, do you need anything else that you want to do? Will you want me to do for the evening or some other plan that you have? I said, because once I sit down, it's over. I like when I turn the switch off and the lights go out in the evening. Don't ask me to do anything else. I get into a relaxed mode, and you kind of just settle in a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say something about Dad's comment real quick.
Yeah, I wanted to too because I seen his Facebook page. It was amazing. But go ahead and listen.
So Dad, so from Tricor Run, that's where we get the jars that I do our creamed honey in. And they have a warehouse here in St. Louis. So I think if you order like $300 or $350 worth, you can actually pick it up, no shipping, for free from their warehouse here in St. Louis. And you're kind of close enough that might be a feasible thing for you or whatnot. But anyway, yeah, I have to check out their mason jars, though. I haven't checked what price they have on those. But yeah, that's a great place to order glass from too.
And happy birthday to Dodd House, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Or was it
Yeah,
today?
sure. And if you go to his Facebook page, man, his honey, he had some really dark honey. Some of the comb cut honey was just beautiful and golden. He had some really nice stuff. They've done a really good job. So.
Oh yeah, Dodd actually.
He's got to prep all that for those honey shows coming up.
Yeah, Dodd this last year had won some awards at our honey show at the EMBA event. Well, this year in February. I say last year because it feels like, until the beekeeping season gets started, it feels like last year. So forgive me there. It was technically this year, but he actually had some amazing cookies. You're going to have to refresh my memory, Dodd. They had
honey pecan.
I was going to say pecan because pecan's one of my favorite nuts.
They were good.
But they were pretty amazing. So, hey, Dodd, you come up to St. Louis. If you come to the EMBA thing, bring me a tray of those cookies, man. I'm going to hook you up, all right?
Well, I want to know if he's going to – so Missouri State Fair is coming up here in a couple of weeks. I'm curious if he's going to enter anything in that.
Yeah, Dodd, the Missouri State Fair is coming up pretty soon. The Missouri State will have a booth there the entire 2 weeks, and a lot of local clubs will be serving like a day there or whatever. The first Friday, the EMBA will be up there. And so Melissa and I'll be up there on that Thursday. Here, let me tell you a date real quick. Thursday. Hold on, where are we at?
It's the second,
right here. Yeah. So we'll be up there Thursday the 7th, August 7th, the 8th, and then we'll be leaving on the 9th because we have to go to another event that we're going to be doing that weekend. But anyway, you should consider and entering your stuff in there. There's a lot of different categories that you can go on the Missouri State Beekeepers Association website to
well, maybe it is
to,
on there.
to it'll be on there to gain and for more information about it. So if you're interested, you should definitely
No
participate.
pressure.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Lindsay has this coming up there, and Chris is on here right now. So
Who's Chris?
I don't know.
Chris?
So my only feedback for the honey show is in the prep area, there needs to be more chairs and maybe even more tables for prep. That was probably my only suggestion. There wasn't enough chairs when you're sitting there, and especially when you're prepping 500 things like I was.
Yeah. And I would actually like a lazy boy in there while Melissa's doing it. So I can before the big event. You know, you got to kind of gear up for that event. You know, I got to rest up for the big few days there, Chris. So, you know, help.
Some hammocks would be nice too, right?
I agree. Yes.
Yeah. So if anybody, you know, has any feedback for the Nobby, you know, Jeremy or Chris here, let them know. And I know these guys, and I know Cayman, and they always want the best show they can put on. Just like when Melissa and them, when they have their show, they want the best one they can put on. They can't do everything for everybody, but if it's something they can do, they will. Oops.
Did you see Jace's comment where he had put his video in for the
Mm-hmm.
the
How
Nobby
exciting
thing?
is that?
That's awesome.
Good job, Jace. You know what? Sometimes the early bird gets the worm, buddy. So, you know, you being really proactive because you just learned about this here this last week and you already got something submitted in.
Well,
so
it just went the next gen just went live, I think.
Hey, Jace, here's the deal. If you make it in, Melissa's buying us dinner, buddy. We're going to find a spot Melissa's buying. Okay.
There you go. I like that. What do you do at the Nobby? It's like saying, what do you do at Disney World?
Okay,
have fun.
That's right. Have fun. Yes,
Well,
sir.
I think the kids with the next gen program, though, their time at Nobby is pretty well mapped out, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'd have to ask Chris that.
Yeah.
What can you expect to do at Nobby?
Well, I believe there's a lot of downtime, but there's a lot of pre-organized things that you guys will get to do, Jace, that the rest of the public won't get to, you know? I believe last year, Chris came and set up special classes, speakers for you guys, and you got to do special tours of different companies that were there. There was a lot of cool giveaways from some very generous vendors that were there, which I'll point that out. I think there's a lot of really generous. Michael, count me in. Melissa's buying.
I better sell all that honey.
I started to say, honey. We're feeling good right now.
Hey, if Melissa can sell that honey, I'll buy her a not new but new to her F450. How about that?
Wow.
Just so we can buy that.
Wow.
Just what I always wanted.
I've got a Ranger.
Hey, we'll even make sure it has air conditioner and then power windows, you know, not the hand cranks.
Speaking of no air conditioner, our poor boys have been their work truck in this 90+ degree weather. The AC's out on it. So they've been working out in the heat and then hopping in an un-AC'd truck.
They're 19. They can handle that though, you know. When you're 19, heat doesn't bother you, cold doesn't bother you, nothing bothers you.
Jonathan, I was thinking the dollar menu on at McDonald's. Is there still a dollar menu?
I like Michael's idea. Let's do some lobster.
Oh man. You know, Michael, I'm not sure about the lobster because I'm not a lobster guy, but I'll go for some crab legs all day long.
Yeah, we can do crab.
So what's next for you guys? You get your you got your honey all in buckets. You'll get it cleaned up, washed down.
So right now it's all in 55-gallon food grade barrels.
Oh, okay.
And so it'll settle in there for a few days, and then we'll pump it over with the Hilco honey pump. Pump it over into 5-gallon buckets, and we just store it in 5-gallon buckets in the garage until we need it to fill the bottling tanks in the honey room downstairs.
Cool. So then what's next for the bees? Have y'all started mite treatment yet, or is that what's
No,
next?
it's been too hot here. So
Yeah.
when we pulled supers, we threw, if it was a strong colony, we threw a deep box back on top of it, because there's still a little bit of a flow trickling in. So maybe we can get them to draw us a little bit of wax on these empty on plastic foundations. That's the hope. So, but it's in the mid 90s last week and this week, so it's too hot for treatment. So we're kind of in a standstill right now. I think next week or the end of this next week, the temperatures are finally supposed to break. So we'll go out and do some mite washing and throw some treatments on there. I think we're going to do Apiguard, and then I think one yard you're planning on trying out Formic.
Well, I might do it a handful of hives in a couple different yards with Formic, but again, I need those temperatures to come down a little bit. I've had some bad experiences in the past, nothing major, but last year was one of them where I had used Apiguard, a little bit too heavy of a treatment for the temperature range, even though the first few days were reasonable. So it's got me a little bit gun shy. I am really chomping at the bit, though, to get treatments done. I mean, I really want to have that completed because, Apiguard is really a 30-day cycle. And I count out brood cycles that I have for that long. And I really need to get this done before they start to rear, winter bees, which, we think about it. It's like, well, we're just in July. Yeah. But, I kind of view as August and September as good brood months, but not when you're using, a thymol or any type of acids that'll kind of shut the queen down a little bit. You're going to lose a little bit, which I think what my goal here is, now that we can get this all cleaned up Saturday, if I can make time after cleaning everything up, which is going to be tough, I'd like to go mix up a whole tote of syrup at probably that at 3/4-ish or so to 1 ratio, something a little bit light. And I'd like to go out there and put the 2-gallon hive top feeders on them and just fill them up and let those girls, chew on that a little bit, even though we do have a little trickle flow, really kind of gorge them a little bit. And then, with some light syrup, and maybe those keep them stimulated just enough to keep some stuff moving. And then next week, I can put treatments on, because I believe the temperatures are going to drop off sometime mid to late week. So I'll have a tall order to get some stuff done, but I still have a busy week for the next week and a half ish or so until, So anyway, fingers crossed all goes well, but I need the temperatures to come down to get that done. So I'll be happy when I can get treatments on and get things moving along. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
Wednesday dinner update.
Yes, go ahead.
the
Let's do
Wednesday
that.
night before.
Like last night, what did we have for dinner?
No, meaning Wednesday before Nobby.
Oh, I'm like, I don't know why you would know we had for dinner last night, but I'll tell you.
That's funny.
We don't have a lot of new news to update, only because
We've been busy with honey.
during your firefighter season that we were running. The things that are most important that need to be dealt with first and foremost, and then kind of trickle down the list. So we still have a little bit of time on that, but I do have a couple of real strong potential that we were talking with Ricky about last week and Keith about. We do have a really good potential place that could work out pretty well, I think. But we'd like to maybe call a couple other locations before we settle in on it entirely. So we'll got to kind of stay tuned on that, I guess.
Within the next couple of weeks, we should have an update, though.
A few weeks.
Yeah.
Cool.
So talking about honey, this honey that's burning my tongue, any idea what it might be? I don't know if you've seen that bowl.
I'm wondering if you're allergic to whatever the honey. What are you allergic to?
Well, black locust is one of them. I'm pretty allergic to the like if I get stuck with the little barb, I really swell up. But
That looks like it's very light colored.
yes, it is.
But black locust quit blooming weeks ago, didn't it?
Our black
yeah,
locust is our first early spring.
Yeah, that's
This
way that's
was-
long.
Yeah, this was whatever's bloomed in the last probably 3 weeks.
So what else are you allergic to?
Yeah, I mean rhododendron, all the funny or the mad honey stuff's long gone. Rhododendron, mountain
Right.
laurel.
you can see it's just real thin, light color. I thought it was basswood. There's no minty flavor to it whatsoever. But
What does it taste like?
it's got a citrus flavor to it, almost like if you've ever had mango honey or orange honey, it's got that flavor to it.
Say it's real thin.
Yeah.
The moisture is good, but it's thin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she had this weird tree I've never seen over there. I started to take pictures. The butterflies were all over it. I didn't see very many honeybees on it, but it looked like it was at the end of the bloom. But it had this weird purple-looking bloom. It looked like a fuzzy-headed chicken, if you want to, you know what I'm saying. But it was wild-looking blooms, and the butterflies were all over it. And I don't know, maybe it was some of that. So
I wonder if it's that tree.
DC and Lee, that's what I was thinking too. It's burning, but I keep eating it.
The sumac is blooming down here, but you probably don't have a lot of sumac up in the hills yet, do you?
No, not we got sumac, but we don't have a lot like you guys do. So
Isn't sumac
I can tell my
darker-
tongue really
darker
getting numb
now?
right now.
I'm not sure if sumac's dark or not. Everything's always mixed up around here. I don't know what stuff is by itself.
Tom Mack said Rosa Sharon. I don't know. That's interesting.
Maybe. I don't know, but I've got just a little bit left. If you see the pictures on the front of the broadcast that the link to come in and everything, that was the honey that it comes from. It looked like clover almost, not sweet like clover, but it had that real pretty yellow look to the honey. So I really don't know. I might bottle all this up and bring it and let people try it, and maybe someone can tell me what it is. I don't know.
Let Bob Benny taste it and use his amazing honey prowess and tell you what it is. You know, that honey I extracted for my newbie up the other side of Elkin. It was real thin and had a citrusy taste, but it was dark. And the best I could tell, a lot of that was it has some sour wood in it, but I think it was a lot of mimosa, which I don't think you have mimosa up in the hills, do you?
No, we ain't got that up here. So
not sure.
Yeah.
Are you sure that it just came in though? Maybe it was something from early spring that.
It was in the top. It was in the very top of the super.
Very top.
Now she did move some supers around before I got there, so maybe it did come off a different colony. I don't know about it, but yeah. I mean, my tongue is tingly numb right now, so
that's interesting.
You better pop some Benadryl.
Yeah, I won't be kissing the wife. I'll tell you that. So.
But it don't have that basswood Benny taste to it.
No, not at all. And it's got that color. It's almost got that greeny look to it. That color, the greeny look. But it's not. So I don't really know. That's crazy. So one other thing happened to me. I just want to talk to Melissa about this. She may know a little bit about it, and maybe Tom. But Melissa does a lot of the bee grafting stuff. So I finally got a breeder queen in. Okay. And this come in on Monday, and this has been like a year and a half waiting to get one, but I finally got one. I put her in the colony on Monday, and when I pulled up on Tuesday, the colony she was in looked almost like it was getting robbed. It was really funny looking. The bees just wasn't acting right, so I went down there and I opened it up, and sure enough, she had gotten out, and they were balling her up. So I ran to the house. I got me a little cage to where the bees can get in, a little hair roller cage. I put her in there, and I put her back in. I mixed up some sugar water, put a little bit of Honeybee Healthy in it, and put that on them. And the next day I came in, and the bees looked more back to normal, and I let her go again. And she got out and she walked just a little ways, and she went, I've never seen a queen look like it was dead. I mean, she was fine when she got out, but then she was like, and I tapped her, and she would run, and she'd do that again, just, and the bees would surround her.
It's a submissive pose.
Yeah, maybe a submissive pose. You're right, Tom. That's what it looked like. Yeah. And they would get around her. They would start to kind of get over top of her, and then they bring that halo back around her and not get on top of her again. I thought, well, I'm gonna chance it and let it go. So that was Wednesday. Well, Thursday I went back in to check it again, and guess what? No queen.
Big Walter.
I'm like, she's dead. So I'm putting my frames back in. I'm like, this is a ton of money that I just wasted. and for probably nothing. And I was putting the frames and look on the side of the wall, and there she was on the wall of the hive. What is she doing way over there? I don't know.
Maybe they ran her off the frames or something like that.
That's kind of what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. So
Hey,
anyway,
I'm just curious, how big is this colony you put her in?
it's like a 5-frame nuke, and
so it's small.
It's small, and the I basically put in brood. It was hatching out.
Okay.
Because I wanted some young bees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I checked her on Friday. Everything looked good on Friday. No balling. She was checking the cups like she was supposed to. So I'm getting a little worried because she's not laying. I did go talk to my master beekeeper, and he says sometimes when they heat them up and ball them, that can actually cook their internal organs.
Yep.
And maybe she's not going to lay. So as of today, she is still not laying any eggs.
Have you fed them?
Yes, I'm feeding them. I'm feeding the whole colony. So, and they've got pollen. They've got pollen in there. They've got the jar. I mean, I've been keeping feed on this colony. So, did I make a mistake?
Well, if I was going to get a breeder queen and spend that much money on a breeder queen, when I went to introduce her, I would probably put her in one of those Better Bee isolation cages with like a frame of capped brood that's getting ready to hatch and empty cells so that she can start laying, and then it'll just be brand new nurse bees in that cage with her. Yeah. So that's probably what I would do. Push it. So it'd be similar to a pushing cage and just be an entire frame. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what I would do, Mark. And then, so you hear people say like queens are inferior, they're not laying as good, but you're getting queens shipped in. And one of the theories is that they're getting shipped in through USPS or UPS, FedEx, whatever, and they're getting hot, right? So their ovaries are getting damaged because of the heat, or maybe sperm is dying off in their spermatheca because of heat and stuff like that. So that is a possibility also. I wouldn't think that them balling her would like completely shut her laying, damage her, that she couldn't lay. Right. It may lessen her viability. But the other thing is it's been stupid hot lately, right?
Yeah.
And this is a nuke, right? So it's probably not super strong, correct?
No, it's not strong.
So she could be laying eggs, and they could be going right behind her and cannibalizing them also.
Okay, that's a good point.
There's not enough bees there maybe to tend to it, or they don't have enough resources coming in.
I got you.
I don't, just guesses, but yeah.
So it's almost like maybe the wrong. Again, we talk about the right age bees, and maybe we're not at the right age bees for the whole colony to basically continue to let her lay. Basically, yeah.
Do you have pollen patties? Any pollen patties? Are they bringing pollen in right now?
They're bringing pollen in, but I did put a little piece of patty in there because I wanted to make sure they had anything to get her started. That's also what my master beekeeper had mentioned. So.
Yeah, I would just give her a couple weeks and see if things calm down, or because it's kind of too late now to put her in an isolation cage, and obviously they're not trying to ball her anymore, so it's really just a kind of wait and see type situation that you're in.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
you get to years of experience, and you think you know what you're doing, and then this happens, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing no more.
Yeah, but bees, they keep us all on our toes.
The other thing I was thinking about, if I wanted to really increase acceptance, I think that I would not use like you did. You used a 5-frame nuke, and I'm not saying you have to just use that. I wouldn't use my largest colony. And then another thing I might potentially do, especially on a breeder queen, since they're really costly. I mean, you wouldn't normally do this as introducing a queen on a normal colony. I would almost consider during the day moving. As I introduced her, moving that colony to an area away when all the foragers are out. Because those are going to be the guard bees, and the foragers are going to be the ones that are going to be a little bit more aggressive. Try to remove some more of the aggressive bees, if you will, to try to create better acceptance. But I mean, you would remove your workforce in there. or your not your workforce, but your foragers at that point. So you need to stimulate a little bit of feed, on them. But I don't know. It's just an idea to maybe help create a little bit of better acceptance right off the bat, because again, I'd be beside myself if I didn't do everything possible to make sure that she was accepted. If you spent several $100s on it, what have you, that would be, I don't know. I'm just thinking of all the things. I would be overly cautious. That's all I'm saying is.
You talk about a gamble. I'm not a gambling man, but this queen feels like a big gamble, to be honest with you.
Well, everything we do inside of a colony is a trade-off. It's a percentage. There is nothing that's 100%. It's always for one action's a reaction. So
yep.
All you try to do as the beekeeper is try to manipulate and minimize some of the risk.
Right.
So
I do that on the daily with Tom too.
you do, huh?
Yeah.
How's that work out for you?
50-50.
Oh, well, I tell you what, we're going to give away a shirt tonight.
Cool.
If you're going to be at the Nobby, we will hand that shirt to you then. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Amber to come down since I don't have the little wheel thing. I'm just going to let her pick somebody's name out because, then we get to blame her for picking the wrong person, right? So I think this would be great.
Wise choice.
Yes, I think
like
so. Hey,
it.
Amber, come here, baby girl.
Just scroll up and down the comments.
Yeah, just put Amber's name in. Hashtag Amber.
Make her just land her finger on one.
Oh, here, let me start dropping a bunch of comments in to increase my odds. Hold on.
He said
You're gonna pick a name out. So anybody that wants a Bee Connection shirt at the Nobby, just put in hashtag Amber, and she's gonna pick somebody out. There you go. Here they're gonna start up for you, Amber. So you gonna get you a pen to write the name down?
Give me the book. You gotta do hashtag Amber.
Hashtag Amber.
Hashtag Amber.
So I see people begging on here. So it's all on you, baby girl.
No pressure.
Hey, I didn't aside for that. Give me the pen.
So hashtag Amber. As it scrolls down, she's gonna pick somebody. Give it just a second, Amber.
No sucking up, Carl. Come on.
Oh. There's a lot of Ambers on there, so.
Look at Hale. He's trying to make a chant out of it.
Yeah, he's getting fancy, ain't he? So.
Can you scroll up?
Oh, I can scroll up. Yeah.
Scroll down.
Well, it's going up right now.
Joey's really wanting it.
Right, you ready?
Wait.
Okay.
Wait, let me look.
Okay.
Joey's going to win.
You tell me when you want me to stop.
Didn't Hale already win too much this year?
She's writing somebody's name down. Now, I didn't have anything to do with this, so.
Where is it?
Who Brown knows the most in their hashtag?
Yeah.
Who got the best hashtag?
And we'll try to do this every Thursday. So, look at that. You would know that's who got it.
Who is it?
Oh, one of the nicest people you'd want to meet.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'll quit. Just quit.
Everybody on here thought they just won.
So, here's who she picked. You see that?
Jan.
Jan.
Hancock.
Jan. Yeah, that's a
Congratulations,
good one.
Jan.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
Jan,
that works.
appreciate you being on the Bee Connection, and
You see, we all knew
you
it's
guys
not
definitely
enough.
deserve a shirt. So when we have the dinner, we'll try to have those shirts there and have everybody the Bee Connection. Bee Connection.
Those shirts look nice, Ricky.
They do.
I like that.
Hold it up there a little bit so we can see it again. That looks good. I like it.
My wife surprised me on Saturday, and she brought these in. She said, "I bought you some clothes," and I do not like her buying me clothes. And she said, "I think you'll like these." I said, "Honey, I've told you 1,000 times I don't like clothes." And I was a little snappy, and she looked at me and then she pulled it out. I'm like, "Oh, I feel so bad."
Hey, Ricky, open mouth, insert foot, right?
Yes. So anyway, so she found these. Somebody did print these, and I said that's great. We'll print some out and give them away on the Bee Connection. So
I did not
and
see
Jan
it.
says she will wear it with pride, Amber. So
Awesome.
Clay, are you calling Tom a donkey? And just using the nice word?
I hope he's not calling Jan a donkey. You know, so.
Tell me how you feel, man.
I'm sure he's talking about me. It's me. It's all me. I know. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So we did with the extraction process this year, we did have a couple of new toys to mess with.
Yeah, talk about those.
We had, well, it might have been on Joey's show the other day that you showed for the clarifier, the creeper thing.
Yeah.
So we have a clarifier, Hilco clarifier, and Tom had our friend that's a fabricator build a dolly basically for it. So that's nice. So we can roll that out of the way and where it needs to be. But we also, I think it was,
Hey, I can.
I don't know if it was Joey or if it was Mike Berry and maybe even Bruce did a video on the little bucket alarms.
Mhm.
So what's his name? The bucket alarm guy.
John.
John.
JLA.
Yeah, JL Apiaries.
JL
He
Apiaries.
sent us one of those bucket alarms, but he also came out with an alarm for the clarifying tank to hooks up to the honey pump.
Mhm.
So whenever the clarifying tank gets filled up and it moves that float up, it turns on and off the honey pump accordingly, so you don't have to keep turning on and off the honey pump. And that was actually really helpful.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them worked amazingly. And so the bucket alarm, though, I guess he makes that in different sizes, like the float level, I guess, in different lengths.
Yeah.
And so we are pumping all of our stuff into 55-gallon barrels. So he sent us one that had a longer float, I guess.
Yeah, I requested a certain size.
So that worked really good with the barrels. So y'all should put that bucket alarm on your Nabi shopping list for next year because it was really helpful.
If you don't mind seeing a mess, I can take you out in the garage and show you what some of that looks like. If anybody is interested, if not, it doesn't matter to me. I'm fine. It's hot out there, but if anybody is interested, I can.
Well, I'm gonna go on a field trip.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody loves a field trip.
Yeah, field trip time.
We want to see you get stuck to the floor like the coyote.
You want to hear him walking there? Whoosh, whoosh,
Yeah. I
yeah,
can't move.
Yep.
Well, you have to enter the studio.
Oh, I know that, but I didn't know if I could do
Oh,
that.
I don't know. I don't know if you can turn the camera on your phone.
You probably Hold on, let me turn it on.
Echo.
There's two of them. Luke, I am your father.
She's sending him away. She says, go away, Tom.
Be gone.
Be gone.
Facing back.
Too much fun on here tonight. Too much fun.
Oh my god. Okay, he's in the garage now. But he doesn't have his camera on. Hold on 1 second.
What would we do without him?
That's right.
I know. I was trying to figure out which one it is here.
Melissa's a lot like my wife, for these cameras and stuff. My wife is a genius on it. So it's like, hey, can you get this going for me? So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My wife likes her gadgets too.
DC said it freaked out his dog.
Here, let me turn off those fans real quick.
It looks like some work's been going on out there.
There's a lot of work being going on.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, so let me turn on the speakerphone. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Is your volume down?
Give me a second, guys. Let me figure this out on my phone. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear them.
All right, go ahead. I'll just have this door open.
I still don't know if I can hear it. Okay, so it's kind of an absolute mess out there. This is all the supers that we have left that we had just finished extracting here today. So I'll just kind of give you a basic rundown of how I had this set up. So this is actually all the wax that we have from uncapping. I don't even know, 170-ish supers. And then we did several for our EMBA club today here this afternoon. So I don't really have any, and this is all an absolute mess right now. I don't really have any frames to do, but basically, in short, when you set the frames up here, they slide down and this chain mechanism rolls down, and then you can see the heated knife. There's one here and there's one on the other side. They oscillate back and forth. It has the one thing that we did get at Nobby, which was kind of cool. And we're actually going to have a table manufactured, a stainless steel table manufactured for here with a frame, I guess, breaker or unboxer, if you will. It'll just be manual, but that's the idea that we have for that. So obviously it'll then, the chain mechanism pushes it down, and as the frames stack up, it just continues to push it down to the end here. And this, I think this tank here will hold 32 or 34 frames inside there. And then just for reference here too, that's John recently just now put this out not very long ago. This is 36. This is all for anybody who likes Made in America, just like me. This is 100% Made in America. The 32 that I have here, if anybody's interested, is actually for sale. Little plug there. But anyway, the thing works wonderful. By the way, there's no issues with it. I'm just going to go a slightly different direction on that, actually. But so that's the 32. This is a 36. And the cool thing about this actually is it has a bottom drive motor setup, and it's a little bit thicker stainless steel. And then obviously you can see it's on the spring feet, which, by the way, actually work really good. So just for reference, I can't hear anybody if anybody's talking on here. So no, Todd, not free shipping. I think you asked me that the other day, didn't you? Yeah. Hey, I got two guys here to help you load it for free. How about that? So again, the 32, and ironically, this size of this one is like 34 inches. And then so is this one too. So he's got a little bit different design setup going on inside there to allow it to get a few more frames, which I don't know. So for me, the big differences I would say between the 36 and then the 32, this is has a thicker plexiglass on it. It's thicker stainless steel. Same thing with the legs. This is something that's cool too that you might not think about. A 2-inch ball valve, which is really awesome. And I like the ability to be able to see, have a better field of vision inside here. And also same thing for loading up. I mean, you can go either side or both, whichever works out for you, which is kind of cool. And then the control box itself, you can actually remount this on any one of the different legs and then kind of position it up differently for you. So that's something that's cool that allows a little bit of versatility on it. So going back to it, automatic uncapper, 32 extractor, 36 extractor, and then everything down here. Now, this one spun around because we were running the EMBA stuff in there, but normally it flows into the first compartment along with the uncapper, along with this one. So all of them, you have a 4-compartment, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And never mind the extra debris down here. I kind of cheated and kind of forced it down a little bit. So normally it clarifies as it goes down, but it's kind of hard to see. But all that is basically just a little bit of foam. There's barely any debris in it. And we run, oh man, lots of material through this today. And then, so I think that's, you have to forgive me. I don't remember exactly what it was. 20-gallon clarifier. I forget. So anyway, normally it sits on this unit sits on the floor, but I always like to monkey with things and create something different for what I'm got going on here. So I had a buddy of mine who's a fabricated, built me a stainless steel trolley that's custom fit to this. It only sits like a half inch off the floor, so it sits really low, and it's on these steel casters. So I can move this whole thing around really easy if I need to, with whenever it's full of honey. I had to move it a couple different times today, actually, to kind of reposition a few things, but that was really helpful. So then from the end of the tank, I have a 3D printed piece here that I hooked a piece of 1.5-inch food grade hose to, and then it goes into the John Hill pump. So one thing that was kind of cool that, so for anybody that's interested, this is the honeybee pump controller from JLA Breers. That's his information right there, if anybody is so interested in using it. This was actually really helpful. I didn't know for sure if I would really like it and if this thing would fully do what I was wanting it to. The idea I had, I thought was reasonable, but John took care of me and he said, "Hey, I want to get this in your hands." So anyway, yes, I did have to pay for it. I didn't get it for free, so I didn't ask him for that. But anyway, John got it out to me pretty quickly. And so basically what it is, and forgive me, I know if anybody here is on the OSHA board, I know I've got cords all over the place. This is not correct, but basically I plug my power cord coming into here, which goes into the unit itself. And then you plug whatever you're powering. So my pump gets plugged into the unit, and it would actually get turned off and on by those two floats right there. So there's a bottom float and then there's a top float. So when the bottom float's activated, and then the top float here is also activated, then it'll actually kick the pump on. So as the fluid level drops, the first sensor drops back down and it continues to pump down to the lowest sensor that's down inside there. So it pumps down from like 2.5 inches down to, I can't remember now. I have the specs inside, but I want to say 4 or 5 inches. So it'll pump down without completely pumping it all the way. And then from there, I have the hose kind of goes behind these supers right here. But then
Another toy.
So this is one thing that I got last year, which again was really helpful. And I'm really satisfied with everything that I set up here. Again, I kind of call this a poor man system, if you will. But this is just the bucket alarm. And he sent this out to a handful of guys. Basically, when it activates, it'll sound. You can hear it sound. It's a little bit sluggish right now since it was in honey, but as soon as it quits making a connection, then it obviously stops. So I have it inside the barrel, and I think that's like I want to say like a 4-inch or something like that. So I have a hose holder with an 1.5 inch tube goes up into the gentleman from I think it was Michigan last year. I forget the name of the company, actually custom made this for me. So it has these little tabs that I can set it up on. Oh, it is? Oh. Melissa said it's etched in one of the feet. I don't remember. Anyway, I apologize. I can figure out what the name was. This actually has a handle built into it, and he has these tabs. So I can use it on the plastic drums, which have a smaller mouth on them, or I can use them on the 55-gallon metal drums. That's why we have this different length here. So it'll span both. So obviously, and this is a 500 micron screen. So it actually, quote unquote, filters pretty well and pretty easily. You can kind of see the honey level down there. It's about half full on that one. And I still have a whole clarifier to go and what's left in the tank. So again, I'm just going to call it like a poor man system, but this thing has actually worked pretty well. And I'm pretty happy with everything that we've done and set up here. It all works pretty efficiently. And, you didn't have to spend $40,000 for a full mini line or setup or what have you. So at some point in time, we won't have to do it here in our garage. But anyway, just kind of a quick overview. It's kind of how we did it. So it's what we did. I like it. It works really well. You can run it with 2 people, or you can run it with like 4 or 5. Works really well with just Melissa and I. You kind of divide and conquer there. Or we had, like I said, there was 5 of us in here today, and we were able to run through, man, I don't even know how many supers that was. There was several of those supers that we ran through at the same time. And then we ran through 350 pounds of the club honey and ran it through there. And I think we were done within a few hours. So there you have it. I'll come back inside so I can hear everybody. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer anything. But like I said, all in all, we're pretty happy with what we've set up here. So thanks for listening to my nonsense, guys.
All right.
That's really cool, Melissa.
Thanks. I'm back inside so I'm going back through the comments because he couldn't hear anybody out there or see comments. So
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything.
yeah, that bucket alarm for that, well, both of them are great. But for the drum was really cool because you can't really see in the bucket with that big screen that we have on there. So having that alarm on there was really helpful. And that way you don't have to keep going back over there and checking it and seeing if it needs to be moved over to another drum.
Yeah, I think they took some pictures of your cords, just seeing if you get an OSHA call.
Does it? Planer. I think Sawmill Charlie uses that heated uncapping planer. I think that's what he uses. Yeah, that bucket alarm is definitely worth putting on your wish list for Nobby.
Y'all going to have a few cords to get the sticky off of.
I know. It's always like that though. So when we start, we take, the cars out of the garage, the boys' dirt bikes are out of the garage, take everything out of the garage, knock every single cobweb down, blow everything out, and then the floor gets washed with soap, washed with bleach, and everything gets sanitized, and then all the honey equipment gets brought in. And once we do that, nothing else goes in that garage except for people and honey. So now tomorrow, everything will get hosed out, washed out, and cleaned up.
Keith, that was my next addition. As I was talking to Melissa about a few things that we're going to change. One of the changes that I'm going to make is I'm going to add some designated circuits out of there that'll drop down from the ceiling. And then I'm going to add some SO cords to a lot of the equipment. So it'll come straight down. I think I'm also going to insulate the other 3 exterior walls that I have. And I'm going to put up some FRP board, which is a sanitary board. I'll probably add that to there. Now, it is still a garage, but I do want to keep it as cleanly as possible when we're doing this, So we'll be adding that. And I might even add a mini split to there so I can, a couple days ahead of time, keep everything somewhat dehumidified. And not have to run as many dehumidifiers inside the space, which, man, I'll tell you what, you'd be surprised at how much it heats up that garage. Like I said, it was up to 104 degrees today, and the outside temperatures were like 96. So
you see Todd's comment. If I email you frames, can you do mine?
Absolutely.
No, we're done. We're done.
No. Email them to me. I'll get them done. I'll send you a request for payment first. Send me the payment, and then we'll take care of you.
The springs were a good help too, because it wasn't perfect. No, because sometimes when things got off balance, you would still have to hold it just a little bit, but it quickly righted itself.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to hold it the whole time.
Much like anything that's a centrifuge, or same principle works off of a washing machine. There are springs that are inside there. So when something's a little bit off kilter, it can kind of right itself. And the more liquid comes out and evens itself out, the faster it becomes more true. It runs a little bit more true. So as you can imagine, with the springs help take some of the motion out of it, but you still have to consciously think about how you're loading something and not load empty frames all in one spot. If you have empty frames, you load them opposite of one another, of course. I mean, obviously, I think everyone's intelligent enough here to figure that part out, but And you just try to mix and match a little bit. And there's a bit of a I don't want to say art to it, but you can kind of gauge things very
Fine-tuning,
easily and quickly understand it. One of the beauties about the automatic uncapper is it's set to a specific depth of cut. So if you have full frames and it cuts them all down exactly the same, you're really setting those frames up to be almost same all the way through, with the exception of when you just have partial fills. That's the only drawback I would say that you would potentially have. So
DC has a question about the clarifier. So it's not screens in there. They're solid sheets of metal. And I guess it dumps into the one, and then the next baffle it goes under, and then the next baffle it goes over. So there's
3 baffles, which makes up 4 compartments. The first compartment you dump into, it has to go under that. And that's about a 1/2 inch gap along the entire bottom of that. So it goes under the first one. Now you're into the second baffle. From that one to get into from the second to the third, it has to go over the next one. And then from the third into the fourth, it has to go back under. So all you're really doing is catching things.
Wax.
Obviously,
debris.
wax, wood, things like that will all float. And they all float fairly quickly. So you can catch them on the upsides. If you had something that was metallic in there, I don't think it would make it that far because it doesn't flow very quickly. It's a slow settle going across there. And obviously the warmer it is, the faster it flows, the more moisture content, the faster it flows, obviously. But Chris, I will find you in January.
Yes, they're 55-gallon drums.
I have my personal security right here. This is my bouncer. Look at him. See that? See the tough guy face? Don't mess with him, Chris. He's not a guy you want to cross. Now he looks confused, but don't mistake that for weakness. He's really a tough guy.
Clay, yes, they're 55-gallon drums. Food grade.
Sorry I'm late, Rick. I just got in from my mess.
What you got going on?
I was really anxious to see this poor boy extraction operation here. You know, you can get that set up, folks. I can get that set up for you for somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 grand probably. One of them poor boy operations.
No, you can make it a lot cheaper.
No doubt. We did not spend 60 grand on that.
If somebody wants one of those poor boy operations and you give me 50 grand, I'll get it to your door. How about that?
No doubt.
All that stuff.
That's funny.
Mr. Irwin, how has your day been for you?
Long, and I finally got through my mess.
Yeah.
I got everything dried up. I went through every individual frame. Some of the worst ones I actually took bleach water. Oh, I've got it everything. I've got about half of it back in the supers that I got dried out last night. I've got another bunch. I'm running it. I stacked it all top down, each individual frame top down and under fans. So anything that might be in there would hopefully come out, and the fans are drawing it up. And I think I've lost quite a bit of comb over the deal, but other than that, I think I'm gonna come out okay. But I've worked all week on it, so I've still got another day's work tomorrow probably. Finish it up.
Did any of those frames that you set up or set out in the sunlight, did any of those warp, or did you?
I had two that you was talking about warping. I had 2 that warped.
Yeah. Anytime I've ever had a plastic foundation that's warped, I throw it away. I typically throw the whole frame out, but if you had other foundations.
There's a particular brand I won't mention that's a lot softer foundation than the other brands. You know, they're good foundations, but they have a tendency to warp worse than some of the other major. It's a major brand, but I really feel like it's the foundations aren't as hefty as some of the other brands. So let's just leave it at that, but I've got several different brands of foundation in my frames. So.
Yeah.
Whatever would you mean, Michael?
Yeah, Mike, what's going on there? What do you got in mind?
Well, I would have tested them out, Michael. I've been through HEXX for this mess I had when I got home. So, but we had 6 inches of rain in 5 days, so I couldn't get out there and get them all picked up. I had them all scattered down through the, stacked up against fence posts for the bees. I've done that for years. I never had a problem before, but I never had 6 inches of rain, while I was gone either. So,
yeah. Well, sometimes those afternoon thunderstorms that pop up, they're very unpredictable. It'll say it's going to rain and nothing happens. It won't say it's not going to rain, and then that you get 6 inches. So
I had it not going to happen, and bang, it happened. And I wasn't there, and it was. The Monday it kind of cleared up, and I thought, well, I can. They were worse than what I thought they was. I didn't know there was that much water in them, but I had a bunch in them, and it was hot enough and humid enough. They were starting to mold and mildew, and anything that had a little dab of bee bread or pollen in it, it was starting to sour pretty badly. So I had a mess. I worked in the rain too, Mr. Prater. I'll get even with you for that. I'll get even with you for that post a little later. I'm too tired to argue, fight with you tonight, but I'll get you, buddy.
Philip's got a question for you guys, Tom and Melissa.
Well, that'll be remain to be seen at this point in time, because I will continue to combine colonies from here through the end of the season. So my growth is done. I'm not going to grow any more colonies. I'm not going to make any more splits. I'm not going to buy any more queens. We're not going to queen rear. So at this point in time, anything that's not acceptable will be shrunk back down. And I don't know. I'm somewhere at like 215. So it'll just get smaller from there. So
DC, I posted a couple times about the clarifier. Right now, Hilco has it for $9.99. I don't know why it's not letting me.
It's hiding the comment. It's not putting it up there. I don't know if it has because you put a price in there or what, but it's not allowing it to put comment to post.
So.
Lee, keep him up all night long. I promise you.
I could use some of that death wish right now. I can barely move. I'm so tired. Yesterday I went through 4 sets of clothes, and today I went through 3 sets of clothes. It's just so humid and terribly hot.
Well, if you'd quit, learn how to use the toilet and quit having accidents in your pants, you don't have to change your clothes often.
Hey, that's my friend.
Whoa! Shot over the bow there. Come on.
Right? I'll get her squared up tonight, JW.
Hey.
Don't worry about that.
I can understand why everyone always wants to pick on me. I'm so nice to everyone.
Yes. Don't pick on my buddy.
Keith, I may have to have you for a backup, buddy.
I'll do what I can, JW.
But they won't give me, what is it the old boy Rodney Dangerfield always said?
No respect.
No respect. Yeah.
That was an age defaming comment.
Oh man, jeez. And, look, Todd's trying to be all noble here. Yeah, just stop it, Tom. You can't be going from what you just did. He's already got his sights on you, buddy.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get back in with me, isn't he?
Yep. He's gonna try to slide back in the good graces. He's like an elephant. He doesn't forget.
You're right about that. I hold a grudge too.
I've been trying to get him to like me since he met me, and he still doesn't. So we have another time on it.
Have you pulled your honey, JW?
I'm done.
You're done.
I pulled everything that was capped, Keith. I probably got 20 super scattered around out there, but I'm going to tell you the honest God truth. I'm so fed up and aggravated with and wore out over this deal. I've still got a few hives with excluders, on them. I may just go out there and pull those excluders and let the bees fight over it.
Mhm.
JW's had a rough year. He had dealing with all those swarms first, then all of his raccoons, and now this comb debacle. It's been like one thing after another.
Then swarms every day.
Every day, yeah.
Well, those are always lessons you never forget, though. So there's not all bad involved in it. You know what I mean?
I got that swarm situation under control this year.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, and he got all that rain. He got kind of flooded.
He
got his tractor
every
stuck.
machine on the farm stuck except for that big horse there over his right shoulder,
Yeah.
and probably had that buried in about 1.5 feet of mud anyway. Hey, so DC had a comment up top. I want to answer this real quick if I can. He asked, how instrumental do people think a clarifying tank is to someone running 20 to 30 colonies? If you're asking me personally, I would say I wouldn't spend the money on that.
Yeah.
I would still potentially, depending on how much honey you're producing, even at that, I would buy the pump before I bought the clarifier, because you could actually use, I would use more than a 5-gallon bucket, but you could technically use any type of a 10, 15 gallon bucket, barrel, whatever it might be as a clarifier, and just put your hose at the bottom or have an outlet at the bottom that you could pump straight out of, because everything is going to float up. So you can use anything for a clarifier. It doesn't have to be an actual clarifying tank.
Well, it'd be more like a settling tank then.
Yeah.
So like those barrels that we pump the honey into, it'll stay in there for a couple days. All the remaining wax that didn't get caught by the screen or the clarifier will come to the top. We'll skim it off and then pump it from those barrels into 5-gallon buckets.
And just for when she says that, last year we did that. We let it settle in those tanks, and I didn't have to skim much. I think I put a video out.
Yeah.
DC, you may have watched it and even probably commented to it. But with that 500 micron screen, I don't think I'm going to be doing any more.
Yeah, because we didn't have that last year.
Beyond that, that honey in that barrel is pretty much done. If there's a lot that floats, I may just lightly skim the top, but that's done. I still want the honey to be quote unquote raw, So, and that's like I said, I specifically wanted that 500 micron screen. So, as a matter of fact, I had asked Cayman about it. And he was the one that suggested, when I talked to him about a couple different size screens, that was one that he suggested. So anyway, DC, if that were in your position at 20 to 30, I would not buy a clarifying tank. I would use something homemade that I would probably use as a clarifier, or I would just pump off the bottom, whether you stuck a hose in the top and used the pump itself. But I do have to say that would be one piece I could potentially do without if I had something else in the mix that I could use to clarify with or settle like that. But for us, it worked.
Arbor Fab. That's the name of it. Arbor Fab.
Yeah, they were in, where's it at?
Right here.
Yeah.
It was $219.
Now I customized it, did the handle, I did the certain size, there's a loop on the top that I could have put a hose into. He also adjusted the feed on there for me. So I bumped the price on every time I made a change to it on that. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for, but I can't remember what he was offering knobby price on that stuff for. So, yeah, that was a premium that I paid for that, but I can look at it like this. I should never have to buy that again unless I rip the screen or do something silly. That's kind of a lifetime piece there.
Well, them little bucket top screens, aren't they at 4 and a 6 on those double screens for those little stainless bucket top?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are 4 on top and 6 on the bottom, I think. They work pretty good, but you just need 4 or 5 if you're doing a lot of honey to,
Yeah.
change them out. So,
So when we were actually letting all the extractors drain into basically that 2-part sieve that JW is referring to that has a coarse screen and then a fine screen at the bottom, the thing that was the issue that I noticed ran into is particularly coupled with and I'm not knocking it because me and Melissa were able to build up on this particular piece. The Simple Harmony Farms slicer uncapper, which works beautifully. It's very fast. It's efficient. It's better than an uncapping knife in a lot of ways. But the caveat to that is it doesn't remove the caps from there. It slices them. So you have all these little bitty tags of wax that are left on there. So when you sling it, it slings out inside the extractor and then it flows out. So now you have more debris that you have to capture before it even makes itself out of the extractor. So that is the downfall, in my opinion, to using the Simple Harmony Farms or a slicer. In there, you're not removing the caps, you're just leaving tags on there. So now that
clogs up your filters.
Yes, it's a filtering issue. So, man, I don't know. It's like pushing a water bubble around under a piece of plastic. Where do you want it to go? So, or an air bubble. And so that was the one thing I was trying to get away from. But Melissa and I used it for the first several years and just made it work. But it was always a nightmare because I had
like 3 buckets going, and you just like
3 to 6
shuffle buckets around.
And
That's
it was
what I have
such
to
a
do.
slow, painful process to do it, and I needed to move that down the road.
well, Michael, thanks for that. I'm going to see it Nobby on some of those. I want to try some of them very much so.
We'll get you his information, Michael.
Yeah.
A couple of them, I think I gave you. I don't remember which ones they were.
I've got them in the hives, but I've never pulled them. I don't know where they, got them drawn out or not. I put them in there, when I was working, and I've never been back to them. They're still on the hives. I had some that wasn't capped, so they were just in with my standard frames.
Hey, Mike, I want to say. Yeah, Michael, I want to say thank you for helping the young people out like Jay and then the elderly people.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
The old and the decrepit. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm going to have to get you guys out here at the farm and a big mud hole.
He's going to bury. Don't go. He's going to bury y'all.
I'm going to challenge about half of you guys that wrestling contest at mud hole. I'll show you what an 81-year-old can do.
I'm going to bring a shiv. I think I play around in that.
Yeah, bring your Mr. Ed's shank.
Yeah, the Mr. Ed shank I'm bringing with.
And then we can all go eat lunch at the conservation restaurant.
Place was good.
Yeah.
Nice little spot.
Yeah. Well, since we've been picking on JW, we'll go ahead and stop the chat here tonight. You can't stop on a better note than that. But we do appreciate you guys in the chat as always. Your comments, it makes the chat even better than just a few people. So, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of people at Nobby coming up also. So, but we want to say God bless, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Night,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone. Sorry I got late in here, Rick.